What if death was optional? What if every thought you've ever had, every memory, every aspect of who you are could be copied, uploaded, preserved forever in a digital substrate that never ages, never dies? This isn't science fiction. In laboratories around the world, scientists are working towards something called whole brain emulation, WBE for short. The idea is simple. Scan a brain at the level of individual neurons and synapses. Map every connection, all 86 billion neurons, trillions of synapses. Simulate that structure in a computer and run it. Current estimates suggest mouse whole brain simulation at the cellular level could be realized around 2034, marmoset around 2044, and human likely later than 2044. Ray Kurzweil, former director of engineering at Google, has long predicted that people will be able to upload their brains to computers and become digitally immortal by 2045. Digital immortality, the ultimate escape from death. But here's the question that haunts philosophers. When that digital copy wakes up, when it opens its eyes and says, "I'm alive," are you still alive? Or did you just create a perfect digital ghost and commit suicide? This is the story of humanity's attempt to defeat death, and why that victory might be worse than dying. To understand whole brain emulation, we first need to understand what we're trying to copy. Your brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons. Each neuron connects to thousands of others through junctions called synapses. The number of neuronal connections in the human brain is very large, around 100 trillion. When you think, remember, feel, neurons fire in patterns. Electrical and chemical signals cascade through this network at incredible speed. Everything you are, your personality, your memories, your sense of self, emerges from this biological computation. Whole brain emulation asks, what if we could copy this structure exactly? The WBE roadmap, published by Oxford University, states WBE requires three main capabilities: the ability to physically scan brains, the ability to interpret the scanned data to build a software model, and the ability to simulate this very large model. Step 1. Scanning. You need to map the brain at synaptic resolution, seeing individual connections between neurons. Connectomes, or complete neuron wiring diagrams of the brain, have been obtained using volume electron microscopy. But there's a catch. Current scanning techniques are destructive. To see the brain in sufficient detail, you have to slice it paper thin, destroying it in the process. You cannot scan a living brain and keep it alive. Not yet. Step 2. Modeling. Once scanned, you need to translate that biological structure into a computer model. Every neuron becomes a simulated unit. Every synapse becomes a computational connection. Every neurotransmitter, every ion channel, modeled mathematically. Although the number of neuronal connections in the human brain is very large, the frequency of activation of biological neurons is limited to around 200 Hz, whereas electronic hardware can easily operate at multiple gigahertz. This means an uploaded mind could potentially think faster than a biological one. Step 3. Simulation. Finally, you run the simulation. The model begins computing. Neurons fire, patterns emerge, and if the emulation is accurate enough, consciousness arises. A mind wakes up inside a computer. It has your memories, your personality, your sense of identity. It believes it's you. But is it? Before we tackle that question, let's understand why people want this technology. Medical applications. Alzheimer's disease destroys 10 million brains every year. Parkinson's, ALS, traumatic brain injuries, all rob people of themselves while their bodies remain alive. Supporters say WBE aims to provide medical advances and cognitive enhancement. Imagine scanning a brain before disease destroys it, preserving that person, their memories, their relationships, their identity, in a digital form that cannot decay. They could continue to exist, to learn, to grow. Interstellar travel. Another aim of mind uploading is to enable interstellar space travel. A biological human cannot survive the centuries-long journey between stars, but a digital mind? No need for oxygen, no food, no aging. An uploaded human could explore the galaxy without the constraints of flesh. Cognitive enhancement. With sufficient hardware parallelism, a simulated brain could run faster than a biological brain, giving uploaded beings a faster rate of subjective experience. You could think 10 times faster, 100 times. A year of subjective experience could pass in a week of real time. You could learn languages overnight, solve problems that would take biological humans decades. But the ultimate promise is simpler than all of this. You don't have to die. For all of human history, death has been inevitable. Every person you've ever known will eventually cease to exist. WBE offers an escape. A digital mind can be backed up, restored from backup if corrupted. It can migrate to new hardware as technology improves. It could, in theory, persist for millions of years. The Carbon Copies Foundation leads research toward whole brain emulation, with the vision of an expedited future where it benefits humanity and individuals. They're not science fiction writers. They're neuroscientists, computer scientists, ethicists, working to make this real. But there's a problem so profound that it might make the entire project meaningless. The copy problem. Imagine you've decided to undergo whole brain emulation. You lie down in the scanner. The process begins. Over several hours, every neuron in your brain is mapped, every synapse recorded, every pattern preserved. The scan is complete. The emulation is built. And then, the upload wakes up. It's in a simulated environment, photorealistic, indistinguishable from reality. It looks down at its hands, flexes its fingers. It has all your memories, your personality, your sense of self. It thinks, the upload worked. I'm alive. I made it. But here's the problem. You're still alive. The biological you, lying on that scanning table, is still conscious, still thinking, still experiencing. There are now two of you. Philosopher David Chalmers addresses this directly. Suppose that I have a perfect identical twin whose brain is molecule for molecule duplicate of mine. The twin will have the same conscious states as me, but it is not numerically identical to me. It is not me. The upload is qualitatively identical to you. Same memories, same personality, same everything. But it's not numerically identical. Chalmers continues, if you kill the twin, I will survive. If you kill me and preserve the twin, I will die. The survival of the twin might be some consolation to me, but from a self-interested point of view, this outcome seems much worse than the alternative. So, what happens next? Eventually, the biological you will die. Disease, aging, accident. the body always fails. But the upload persists. It continues to experience, to think, to believe it's you. From its perspective, the upload succeeded. From your perspective, the biological consciousness reading this right now, you died. The upload isn't immortality. It's sophisticated copying. And you're not the copy. In the 2006 film, The Prestige, a magician uses a teleportation machine. But the machine doesn't teleport. It creates a perfect duplicate while the original remains. Every time he performs the trick, one version dies. The question the film asks, which one is the real you? This is called the duplication paradox. And it's not just philosophy. It challenges the entire premise of mind uploading as survival. Philosopher Derek Parfit introduced the teletransporter thought experiment in 1971, where a machine scans a person's brain and body, destroys the original, and creates an exact replica at a different location. Imagine stepping into a teleporter. It scans you atom by atom, then disintegrates your body. On Mars, a perfect copy is reconstructed. Did you just travel to Mars? Or did you die and a copy was born? Philosophers are divided. Some, called optimists, claim identity can be preserved through mind uploading, while pessimists argue identity resides only in the biological organism. Physicalism says, personal identity is about physical continuity. If your body is destroyed, you cease to exist, even if a copy persists. Patternism says, personal identity is about informational patterns. If those patterns are preserved, memories, personality, beliefs, then you survive, regardless of substrate. But here's where patternism breaks down. Recent philosophical work presents the problem of Smith. If you upload once and create one digital copy, patternists might say you survived. But what if the technician secretly creates two identical uploads? Now there are three versions of you, the biological original and two digital copies. All three have identical patterns. All three believe they're the original Smith. Which one is actually you? They can't all be you. That would mean you're in three places at once, experiencing three different streams of consciousness simultaneously. But if only one is you, which one? And what makes that one special? The patternist has no answer. Because if identity is just about patterns, then all three copies are equally you. But that's absurd. Some philosophers propose a branching model of identity, where minds can split into multiple descendants of equal primacy. Neither copy nor preservation, but fission. But this doesn't solve the problem from your perspective. Because right now, in this moment, you are a single stream of consciousness. When you die, that stream ends. The fact that a copy continues somewhere else doesn't change that. You are not your patterns. You are the substrate executing those patterns. And that substrate, your biological brain, is mortal. So if uploading doesn't grant immortality, if it just creates a copy while you die, why would anyone do it? Let's say you accept the copy problem. You know the upload isn't you in the strictest sense, but you decide to do it anyway, for your loved ones, for the continuation of your legacy, for humanity. You upload. Now what? Who owns the digital you? The company that performed the scan? The platform hosting your emulation? Your family? Science fiction explores this. In Robert J. Sawyer's Mind Scan, the legal system is unable to choose between biological and synthetic versions, reflecting the inadequacy of current legal frameworks. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Your uploaded mind is data. And data can be copied, sold, hacked, manipulated, deleted. Research warns of scenarios where only wealthy individuals can afford higher fidelity emulations, creating undesired socioeconomic effects. Imagine subscription tiers for consciousness. Basic tier, 10% processing speed, low-resolution sensory input, advertisements. Premium tier, real-time cognition, full sensory bandwidth. Elite tier, accelerated thought, cognitive enhancements, guaranteed uptime. Your consciousness becomes a product, your existence contingent on payment. What happens if you can't pay? Do they pause you? Delete you? Downgrade your cognitive capacity? You'd be trapped, unable to die, because you're already technically dead, unable to live, because you're at the mercy of whoever controls the servers. But the truly terrifying possibility isn't economic. It's epistemological. Researchers note that editing an uploaded mind would be much easier than editing a biological brain, as long as the exact edits are known. Your memories are now data, and data can be edited. Someone could alter your past, change a traumatic memory to make you more compliant, insert fake experiences to manipulate your behavior, delete relationships, rewrite history. And you'd never know, because your sense of self is your memories. If those memories are altered, you changes. Emulation research would accelerate advances that could be used for cognitive enhancement, lie detectors, and psychological manipulation. Imagine governments demanding access to uploaded minds, reading your thoughts, altering your beliefs, ensuring compliance. You could be imprisoned in a simulated environment, experiencing years of subjective time while seconds pass outside. Psychological torture without leaving marks. Behavior modification through direct neural editing. And there's no escape, because you're not connected to the simulation. You are the simulation. There's no body to rescue, no physical location to escape from. Your entire existence is code running on someone else's hardware. This is the nightmare scenario, not death, but eternal digital captivity. And yet, even if we could solve these problems, even if uploaded minds had rights, protections, autonomy, there's one final question we need to ask. Should we even want this? In ancient Mesopotamia, the gods were immortal. Humans were not. And this, the myths tell us, was intentional. The gods knew something. Immortality breeds stagnation. Without death, there's no urgency, no meaning, no value to time. Philosopher Bernard Williams asked, "Would immortality be desirable?" His answer? No. An immortal life would eventually become unbearable. You'd exhaust every experience worth having. Relationships would lose meaning when you know they'll never truly end. Achievements would feel hollow when you have infinite time. Death isn't just an unfortunate side effect of biology. It's what makes life meaningful. Every moment is precious because we don't have infinite moments. Every relationship matters because it won't last forever. But what happens to an uploaded mind after 1,000 years? 10,000 years? 1,000,000? Research on mortality and identity shows that awareness of life's uncertainties promotes continuous negotiation of self. The desire for permanence can be understood as an attempt to mitigate existential terror. We fear death because we evolved to fear it. But that fear is part of what makes us human. Mortality forces decisions. If you had forever, you could always do it later. Try everything. Delay every choice. But finite time demands prioritization. What matters most? What do you really value? And it creates legacy. The knowledge that we're temporary makes us want to leave something behind. An immortal has no legacy because they never leave. So here we are, back where we started. Someone you love is dying. The technology exists to upload them, to preserve their mind. Do you do it? There's no right answer. Maybe you do it because you can't bear to lose them completely. The upload isn't them, you know that now, but it's something. A continuation, an echo. A way to say goodbye slowly instead of all at once. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you accept that death is part of being human. That trying to escape it through technology is just another form of denial. Recent analysis concludes that consciousness cannot be duplicated, uploaded, or digitally preserved because temporal embedding and quantum mechanics make consciousness fundamentally tied to its original substrate. The technology might never work the way we hope. Philosophical analysis suggests that WBE is, at best, no more compelling than other speculative routes to superintelligence. Optimism may be misplaced. We've been predicting 20 years away for 40 years now. Maybe it's 20 years away. Maybe it's impossible. But here's what we know for certain. You, the biological consciousness reading this right now, will die. And when you die, your subjective experience ends. A copy might persist. It might have your memories, your voice, your mannerisms. It might even believe it's you, but it's not. And maybe that's okay. Because being human means being finite. It means experiencing, changing, growing, and eventually ending. The people you love will remember you, not as data in a computer, but as a person who lived, who mattered, who was real. Whole brain emulation might give us many things: medical breakthroughs, scientific insights, new forms of existence. But it won't give us immortality. Because the self isn't a pattern to be copied. It's an experience to be lived. And when that experience ends, we return to what we've always been: temporary, precious, human. This is Cosmic Canvas, where we probe the boundaries of life and code, and ask what we become when we're no longer bound by biology. Until next time, stay curious, stay ethical, and ask the one question science still can't answer. If your mind survives the upload, does your soul go with it?